Hello students, welcome to the session on tourism. After learning about the concept of product planning, market segmentation and management information system, the platform is apt to start exploring about marketing mix used by various tourist organizations. Students, let's start learning about marketing mix. It is the various products and services offered to customers that makes tourism attractive. Like the manufactured product, the potential tourist cannot feel, taste, touch or sample a package tour. The tourism product is a non-material, intangible thing. Every product is aimed at some market and its marketing success depends essentially on its fit with the market. This makes it essential that the tourist professionals must continually strive for improving the effectiveness and increasing the profitability. More so, tourism being a multi-segment industry, the task of formulating a sound product mix for the tourist organizations is found a bit difficult and a challenging task. The challenge for the marketers is it to transform the dreams into realities for their customers. Therefore, it is essential that the product offered to a target market must satisfy the users. Thus, the formulation of a sound product mix covers a wide range of activities like designing a package tour, branding, credit delivery services, or so on. The formulation of a sound product strategy focuses on the formulation of a sound product mix that makes possible designing of a profitable product portfolio by including and eliminating the core and peripheral services in the face of results received from the portfolio of products offered. An optimal product strategy necessitates an in-depth study of the product life cycle. A blend of core and peripheral services requires a detailed study of different services in order that the decisions related to inclusion, elimination are found productive. An expert has rightly remarked that strategically the core service is the primary benefit that consumers seek from the service providers. The core services often becomes commodity as the service industry matures. Consumers expect the firm to be competent in providing the core services. The result is that peripheral services often become the way in which consumers' heart is won. The formulation of a product mix becomes an important task for marketing the tourism services profitably. The development of accommodation facilities by opening new classified and unclassified hotels, canalization of safe, comfortable and fast transportation facilities, availability of sophisticated communication facilities at tourist sites, and the taste-oriented restaurants are some of the important components of an optimal product mix, gravitating due attention of tourist organizations. We cannot reverse that the tourist product is a quite complex one, since it comprises a place, that is a holiday destination, services, that is a tour operator's package incorporating the temporary use of an airline seat, hotel room, and sometimes other facilities, and on occasions certain tangible products also, such as free flight bags or a complimentary gift or points that can be redeemed for freebies to encourage the bookings. This makes it clear that the tourist organizations, and to be more specific, the professionals working there, need world-class excellence so that both the services are synchronized optimally, and in the process the peripheral services are innovated frequently to add additional attractions to the product. More attractions in the product, more positive results we expect from the tourism industry. It is right to mention that the tourist professionals need excellence and there is no limit for the same. Sky is the limit for quality upgradation. A number of decisions are required to be made to make the product mix sound enough to stimulate the demand and increase the market share. It is against this background that we go through a number of issues such as silent features of services, the product mix, the formulation of an ideal tour package, or so on. James Gulliton described the marketing executives as a mixer of ingredients. This inspired Professor Neil Borden to coin a new terminology in the marketing literature, which is known by the name marketing mix. He was of the view that without the help of quality submixes, the marketing executives would hardly be successful in accomplishing the organizational goals. This engineered a sound foundation for the frequent use of the term marketing mix, in which initially the 4 submixes were included, such as the product mix, promotion mix, price mix, and the place mix. Gradually, we find inclusion of some other mixes also, such as people, process, and physical attractions. While going through the marketing mix for the tourism services, we would cover all the submixes. The forming of a product mix is no doubt a challenging task, since the marketing professionals are supposed to blend the core and peripheral services optimally. In the tourism industry, a deeper product line is found a must. This is due to the fact that needs, expectations, preferences of different category of users are different and cannot be always identical. The tourism marketers are required to be confined to deepen the product line so that the products match to the expectations. The extent to which the marketers are found successful in deepening and innovating the product line have a telling impact on the net gain or satisfaction of the consumers. Innovation in the tourism products help raising the sensitivity. There is nothing fixed and fundamental about the tourism products. The users of services look forward to quantity product. This increases the functional responsibilities of a marketing professional. Students, modifying the product without touching their physical properties and providing the management with more profitable opportunities to capitalize on and are found to be significant in the very context. The marketing professionals, while designing the product mix, are to be careful that features like physical, psychological, and extra are included in the mix. The content factors are within the jurisdiction of the government, who bears the responsibility of developing, maintaining, and conserving the tourist attractions like parks, museums, beaches, historic and archaeological treasures, or so on. Unless these factors are developed in a right fashion, the marketing professionals would hardly be successful in making the marketing resources productive. The context factors are, of late, found managed by both the public as well as private tourist organizations. Earlier, this responsibility was on the shoulders of private sector tourist organizations only. The designing of an ideal product mix is significant, but it is not possible unless we find government organizations extending the best possible cooperation to the tourist organizations. Students, the direct or indirect patronage of government is found essential to get a positive response. The development of infrastructure facilities is found an important dimension of tourism products. Unless we find hotels, lodges, apartments, cottages available in a good number, the task of promoting the tourism would hardly be fulfilled. This makes it essential that for promoting a tourism as an industry, the government extends to the different organizations the infrastructural facilities like road, transportation, electricity, water, Medicare facilities, banking, insurance, or so on. The tourist organizations are also expected to design a sound package so that the motivation to the tourist is found more creative. The synchronization of different services needs an intensive care to the quality of services that we include in the marketing mix. It is in this context that we go through a sound product mix for the tourist organizations. The multi-dimensional services included in the mix are attraction, accommodation, transportation, recreation, restaurant, and shopping. Students, let's learn about tourism products. The tourists belong to varied cultural patterns, divergent desires, needs and requirements, different socio-economic strata, or so on. Since all the tourists need the same core services, the width of the product is almost fixed. It is essential that the tourist marketers are captive to deepen the product line. The success of tourism business depends considerably upon the extent to which the marketers develop and make available the services. Students, it is significant that the marketers are well aware of the quality promised and are particular that the gap between the quality promised and quality offered is bridged over. This is a natural way, requires innovative efforts. The marketers here are not free to deepen the product lines. They at best can catch up their cluster patterns and can forge their activities to serve one or more clusters or group of segments for so. So, while formulating the product mix for the tourist organizations, it is significant that tourist organizations are familiar with the strategies of leading tourist organizations and promote innovation to the extent it is possible. Nowadays, we find craze for village tourism, rural tourism, adventure tourism, and so on. We also find that the high spending tourists prefer to stay in cottages and old palaces converted into hotels having 5-star amenities and facilities. They want peace and therefore prefer the outskirts or the villages. We also find cottage culture establishing an edge over the multi-storied apartment culture. We find aesthetic sense playing an incremental role in adding additional attractions to the services. These aspects are found important while formulating the product mix. Let's now learn silent features of tourism products. For making the marketing decisions effective, it is pertinent that the tourist professionals are well aware of the silent features of the tourism products. This would help them in many ways. Let's start. First one is tourism products is highly perishable. Perishability is an important factor that influences the decision-making behavior of the tourist professionals. The product is used just when it is offered, and therefore, if it remains unused, the chance is lost. That is, the business is lost. If the tourist does not visit a particular place, if the seats in the hotels, aircrafts remain vacant, the business is lost. This makes the product highly perishable and makes it essential that the tourist professionals make the best possible efforts to promote the services in such a fashion that opportunities never remain untapped. Second one, the tourism product is a service product. We find services the only product used and sold in the tourism industry. This makes it essential that the tourist professional assign due weightage to creative marketing strategies which are found proactive. The level of judgment and knowledge possessed by the individuals and related to the tourism reflect on satisfaction derived by the tourist after visiting a place. In this context, the marketers need to be high performers, personally committed, imaginative, and so on. This helps them in capitalizing on the opportunities optimally. The third point, intangibility complicates the task of marketers. We are well aware of the fact that tourism is a multi-segment industry in which transportation and accommodation services constitute a place of outstanding significance. However, the tourist professionals find it difficult to persuade the users by displaying the seats in the aircraft and the bedrooms in the hotels. The users first use and then come to know about the quality. The fourth point, the services are for pleasure. It is right to mention that the tourism services are used by the tourist to enjoy. By visiting tourist resorts, spots, sites, beaches, they get pleasure. We also find the services instrumental in enriching the knowledge bank of tourists. Or the adventurous persons use the services to taste the flavor of adventure. This makes it significant that the tourist organizations make the center attractive by adding additional attractions. The fifth point, users are supposed to visit the centers. For availing the services of the tourism industry, it is essential that the users, that are tourists, visit the place physically. The users are supposed to come all the way to the spot. This necessitates setting of product features in a right way. Adequate infrastructure facilities for the tourism product. No doubt that almost all the industries need infrastructural support, but the tourism industry cannot exist if hotels, transportation services, efficient transportation facilities, hygienic hotel accommodations, and sophisticated communication services are some of the key infrastructure facilities adding attractions to the tourism services. Sixth point, the users are a heterogeneous group of people. It is important to mention that the tourism users come from different regions, income groups, sections, age groups, genders, professions, or so on. This makes it essential that the marketers are familiar with different groups of people using the services. Students, let's now study various essential for designing a package tour. In the process of formulating a sound product strategy, there are a number of factors to be given due attention. The design of a package tour occupies a place of outstanding significance. For the profitable marketing of tourism services, it is pertinent that the different components of the product which necessitates management of the factors discussed. Destination, transportation services like airlines, roads and railways, accommodation services, tour operators that are representatives, finally miscellaneous. Students, let us now study each of them in detail. Destination. The development of destination or tourist site has far-reaching impact on attracting the tourists. It is essential that the destination or the tourist sites are easily accessible. This necessitates safe, fast and reliable transportation facilities for the tourist sites. To be more specific, for promoting world tourism or attracting the foreign tourists, it is essential that the flying time is made proportionate. The site should be clean. The beaches should be sandy. Sunshine should be certain. The entertainment facilities at the site should be of quality. The site should be safe to walk about. The local people should be friendly. The tour operators, the travel guides and others should have competence of speaking English and other regional languages. These facilities at the destination would certainly add attractions to the potential tourists. Management of airport. While managing the tourism product, the airports are required to be managed carefully. The airport should be local and convenient. The arrangements for parking should be safe and adequate. It should not be congested, but it should be spacious. Besides, the security arrangements should be tight to protect the passengers and their valuables. The aesthetic management occupies a place of significance in the very context. Airlines. The flights should maintain the time schedules, otherwise, a dislocation may invite multifaceted problems not only to the tourist but even to the airport authorities. The services should be reliable, good, and polite. The sophisticated modern aircrafts of new generation should be included in the fleet to attract the tourists. The safety record should also be up to the mark to remove the fear of travelers. Road and rail transportation. For the tourist preferring to travel by buses or railways, it is significant that the stations are well managed. The booking and reservation counters should be managed scientifically. The inquiry window should be controlled by efficient and well behaved staff. The safety and security arrangements should be adequate to counter the law and order problems. The signposts should be positioned at the right places to help the traveling passengers. Hotels. For managing the hotel services, it is essential that we are also careful to the hotel accommodation facilities. Students, it is pertinent that the hotels are easily accessible to the tourist sites or beaches or shops. The hotel personnel should be trustworthy and competent enough to speak English and other regional languages. They are supposed to be friendly. The management of facilities also depend upon the grade of hotels, which needs due care. Though the standards of services, amenities and facilities depend upon the grade of hotels, still it is essential that the hotel offers the promised services. The gap between services promised and services offered should be bridged over. The hotels should be well maintained. The decor should be attractive. Possibly a fair mix of Eastern and Western culture. The atmosphere should be calm and quiet, especially at the night time. Public rooms should be adequate in numbers. The swimming pool should be neat and clean. Where inflow and outflow of water is scientifically done to protect the danger of water contamination or pollution. It is also expected that the hotel offer variety in food and beverages which makes tourist feels homely. Rooms are expected to be airy and spacious with room telephonic services, in-room TV and other equipments that make staying experience memorable. There should be adequate cupboard space. The hangars should be attractive and artistic. Bathrooms are expected to be neat and clean and well equipped with certain other provisions that adds value to the living. The lighting and ventilation arrangements should be adequate. The intensity of light at different points should be given due weightage. While managing hotels, the restaurants and cafeterias also needs equally due care. The restaurants and cafeterias should be well managed. The food and drinks should have taste orientation. The varieties of meals and drinks should be available. The seating arrangements should be comfortable. Meal hours should be flexible and hotel personnel should be polite and friendly. Resort representatives. Regarding representative of resorts, they should be knowledgeable, friendly, accessible and competent to handle all the service related queries, request from the guest or tourist, which in turn becomes an advantage for promotion of resorts, which brings goodwill to them in future. Tour operators. The tour operator should be reliable, where the guaranteed services are made available to the guest without making any distortion. The prices should reflect good value for money. Tour agents. The tour agents should be competent, friendly and conveniently available. They should also provide extra services to the tourist. The incentives needs due weightage here. Free transports to airport and free insurance facilities induce the tourists. Miscellaneous would have the addition The fellow travelers should be like-minded. The main thing is to make the tour pleasant and memorable. If the tourists have companionable fellow traveler, the journey would of course remain memorable. The aforesaid facts make it clear that being an amalgam of number of industries and services, the tourist industry is known as multi-segment industry, in which designing of a package which proves its instrumentally as a motivational force, which is found a bit difficult and challenging task. In short, the 4 P's of marketing mix play a key role in deciding the tourism marketing mix narrated as here. The first one is product. Product marketing should be based on sustainable planning process. Tourism product development, it is a specific market, niche market, cultural and heritage, nature-based, events and festivals, demanding tourism experiences. The marketing system should be guided by the profit motivation and self-interest. Some more sustainable tourism products in nature like vacation tourism, small scale tourism, conservation tourism. The product is expected to have the features variety, quality, design, features, packaging, services and brand name. The second important factor is price. The price paid by the tourist should cover the full cost of their vacational holiday. Sustainable tourism provides a satisfactory level of profit for tourism industry as it generates an appropriate level of benefits for the community. The features make an ideal price mix for tourism services, which includes list price, discounts, allowances, payment terms, credit terms. The third important point is place. Place also refers to the channels of information that are used to spread the message. Place refers to the location at which any service component of the marketing will be delivered. Tour operators and those responsible for tourism attractions, they also encourage trends towards selling, leaving out the marketing intermediaries, the cooperation and commitment intermediates such as travel agents. They use action should be taken to ensure that the way they sell a product is ethical and does not raise unrealistic expectations in the mind of tourists. It includes advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations. Students, let's come to the conclusion part now. I would like to conclude by mentioning that we have finished discussing about the concept of marketing mix for the tourism services. I hope the session was informative. With this, I wish to conclude my session. Thank you so much.